corner of the map as our purple Zerg. We have Dazd is what we're going to call him, D-A-S-D. And in the bottom left-hand corner as our orange Protoss, we have Least. Now I'm not positive, but I believe Least is around D rank or so maybe 1400 MMR. So we'll see what we have in mind for this game and where that heads. See, he's got his pylon up here, so we'll just have to wait and see if it's going to be a gateway opening or a forge opening. Probably forge there, gateway there. It looks like he maybe wants to put a gateway. Usually the gateway goes on the right. It's more often consistently tight. And indeed, it is going to be a gate first opening here from Least. And in the meantime, Zerg is overpooling, so should be relatively safe from any early Zealot harass nonsense. And that probe heading out here to scout. And of course, it's Benzene. It's a two-player map, so you're going to scout correctly. If you don't scout correctly, I don't know what to tell you. I guess you just have never played on the map, but that would be quite the disappointing mistake to make. And actually, check this. It's not going to be a gate. It's going to be Los Gate, two gate. Los, I don't know why I said Los. It's going to be two gates, dos gates. So we're going to have some aggression here coming down, and that'll be significantly stronger here against this overpool from DASD. Now, it looks like he has saved all of his lings. Oh, he's only made one pair so far, and he's not going to be seeing anything anytime soon. So this could be a very, very strong here from Least. And honestly, with good micro, there's a pretty solid chance Least ought to be able to kill off this hatchery. It's just not going to be a lot of fighting units, and Daz playing very, very blind at this point, opting not to scout with that drone after 12 hatch, and he's only just now going to come here and see, oh shit, there's those gates. Looks like the macro here fairly tight from Least so far. Now the links are certainly going to start making, and he's got this unfortunate situation here with Overpool where the hatchery is much slower, so it's actually quite a bit longer until you can sunken up, because his lings from one hatchery is certainly not going to be sufficient count to defend this by any stretch of the imagination. Pretty good chasing though so far, and pretty good APM here by Least, keeping that probe alive nicely in the base, as Zerg is just hunting for it, looking for it, trying to get rid of it. And 3 Zealots are out now, so we should see Least coming across the map. 3 is usually the magic number when you're playing against an overpool. A lot of times against 12 hatch you want to send that first Zealot right away. It can start off as a harassment Zealot. But against Overpool, if you send the first Zealot, there'll be often 6 lings and it'll just die. So if you just hold back, wait for 3, and then go, it's great. But oddly, Least is not opting to attack, which is kind of concerning. He's putting down a Nexus, but he's wasting what would have been a ridiculously powerful attack. And it's kind of surprising because he did have that probe in the base to see exactly what was going on from those Zealots. And now not opting to use them whatsoever. And Zerg just continuing to pump Zerglings, which in all honesty makes sense. He's probably expecting some crazy attack, although now he's had enough time that he could start adding Sunkens if he wants to, but it looks like he just wants to defend this purely with Lings. We saw, of course, that he took an early gas, getting that Ling speed, and has his lair on the way. So it's going to be some very fast tech from 2 bases. Definitely going to be Least with the economic advantage regardless. And the probe here should get found and probably will get picked off. Let's see if it's clicked to the minerals. Yeah, it is clicked to the minerals. If he wants to kill it, he will. But it doesn't appear that's his focus right now, so he's going to come here. He's going to get a pretty good surround here. And Least actually should pull these Zealots back from the gateway because the Lings can engage very efficiently like this. It's actually kind of a hard gateway configuration to defend right now. That's a little bit better positioning for that Zealot. But for sure, these Lings can be annoying here in the interim. Now, he's not producing any Zealots, and this gateway is likely to go down here. 1 Zealot getting picked off, so Least is not trading very efficiently with his Zealots so far here. Daz having a little bit of difficulty getting his Lings to attack, but 2 Zealots alive, and it appears that he actually has bought enough time. I'm a little surprised he hasn't continued attacking those gateways. Definitely could have just attacked out of range and gone after them, but did not opt to continue the micro, so 2 cannons will finish, and Least going to be just fine there at his natural base. And in the meantime, we can see he's taking up okay, but of course Zerg has gone for some very fast tech here. So the relative difference between the two is rather extreme. And if we note that gas count from Zerg, it's quite high. So he's going to have enough to make plenty of Muta right away. And that is going to leave Least, well, quite far behind in tech. Least might be able to get out a Corsair by the time that Spire is done, but that's not going to be sufficient. So Least is going to need to sniff this out and get some cannons up, or just blindly cannon. And of course, if he doesn't go Stargate, he's going to be in just an unbelievable heap of trouble here. But given the way he's opened, I'm guessing he's going to go Stargate. And yeah, not going to take any chances there. So Stargate starts. And I guess we just have to wait and see if this is going to be Muta from DASD. I'm expecting it to be, especially with this much gas banked. But we'll see if he starts to hold any larva here. Getting his drones up. And if we look at this now, he's at, what, 30 supply? And he has only a few pairs of lings, so he's getting up a pretty solid, 3-base economy behind this, looking reasonable. And now it looks like some larvae are being held. Not that much supply. Oh, he's just going to make Scourge. Well, that is a missed opportunity here, because had he made Muta right now, like I said, there would have been 1 Corsair to meet a good solid 6 Muta. Now, we'll see if this prompts Muta or not. No, I guess not. Again, I'm a bit surprised by that with how late those Corsairs are. There would be no cannons here. At least would have been 100% vulnerable and would have 90% chance he would have died, or at least lost one of the bases, which is as good as death. And, at the very least, the Muta would have done quite a bit of damage. And now 5 Zealots moving out here across the map for Least. You can see there are no leg speed upgrade. There is no leg speed upgrade in the process, and the Forge is spinning, so at least that's happening. Archive's going, still nothing. Now, is this going to prompt Muta? You got 800 gas, man. I don't understand this. Muta would just auto-win the game right now. Like, it's a major mistake from Least to just blindly have, like, no cannons and a Corsair. So, yeah, he should lose that Corsair to Scourge if those Scourge pop out here and are sent in. Yeah, it looks like he's going to lose that. Imagine if there were Muta behind this. He's just dead. So, yeah, but there are going to be enough lings out here for DSD, and Least very much overextending with those slow lots and just loses all of those. So now Least is kind of in this uncomfortable position. He's got to add a cannon. He's sitting back at home. Zerg's got a reasonably good eco now, getting up to 5 hatches, make that 6 hatcheries. Perhaps a little bit early. Whoa. Jiminy hatches, Batman. We're also going to have a ling attack. This is either going to be like 7 hatch ling all in, or this is just a totally unaffordable number of hatcheries. Like, he's got okay drones, but he doesn't have amazing drones. I mean, usually you need 30 or so drones, mining drones. He's got a few on gas. You need this number of drones to support 6 hatches. And even then it's a bit questionable, but we know that he doesn't have quite that economy because he's already got significant supply in lings. Now he is definitely popping out still quite a lot of drones. I mean, the economy for DASD is going to be rolling, and that's going to be a problem for Least, but for the moment, a little too fast on the hatcheries. Still could go Muta. Least still has 0 defense against Mutalisk. I mean, I guess now that he's got an Archives, he could morph a Panic Archon, but he's still completely defenseless. I mean, and what's amazing about this is that DASD has this Overlord here in the base, and he's seeing all of this and still not doing anything when he has the ability. That's kind of surprising. So more Scourge are going to come in here, probably going to pick off another Corsair. No real way for it to survive, so yeah, just another Corsair goes down immediately. Definitely a bit of a mistake there by Least not to have a cannon covering his Stargate, covering his Nexus, whatever. And again, a completely undefended mineral line, which with no Corsairs is very, very ballsy. And there we go. We see it happening. The Muta starting to pop out now. Quite a lot of minerals and gas. Could still make Muta over here. Now, are there going to be cannons added? No. Is he going to start Dragoon production? No. Is he morphing an Archon? Whoa. Oh, just a Storm being thrown down at the lings on the front. And it is a pretty good one. It does kill a bunch of the lings. Okay, he's going to get an Archon out of this. Now it's going to be very out of position. We've got the initial Muta coming out for DASD. So I am happy to see that he finally said, okay, I have a 1k gas bank. I should probably spend that and make Muta, especially since I've got Scourge over the Stargate. It's not flashing. I don't see any Dragoons. My Overlord is still alive in the base. No more of that. So there will be an Archon here out for Least, and he'll probably morph another one here as soon as these Mutalisks arrive. But he's still going to take a lot of probe damage here. Looks like 9 are out here for DASD. Now this is going to be a pretty scary attack, especially since DASD does not have any Sunkens down. So we're going to get maybe into a counter situation, and that might end up allowing Least to defend these Muta here, because this attack is going to move out. And with 0 Sunkens and no Hydralisks and no Lurkers, this is an absolutely terrifying Protoss army. So immediately that Templar gets picked off, and of course the Muta going to work on the probes, and right now Least absolutely needs to counter. Maybe morph 2 Templar in the natural to get an Archon, but he needs to counter. He's taking incredible probe damage, a little bit slow to run the probes here. More and more Muta are being sent in, and there we go. Least is moving out on the map, and this army is going to be a huge problem. Creeps are being added, but they're going to be late. They won't finish in time here. Looks like he's focusing the Archives. Not a terrible choice, although in this case, probably would rather he killed the Eco. But he's got the issue of this very, very powerful army. Now, there's only one Archon in it, which is very easy, very almost trivial for Muta to split and kill. But the issue is this is like 2 control groups of Zealots, and that is a boatload of Zealots here. It's going to do massive damage to space. Now, the fact that it's taken a little while for Least to gather his forces is pretty nice for DSD. Now, these 4 Sunkens are certainly not going to be enough to defend. This army will rip right through those, and it's unfortunate that he's not making any more units. Like, it's an interesting choice to go mass Muta, which appears to be what he's doing. Now, if he's targeting the Archon, that is a very smart choice, and no, he's not. There was a Sunken attacking it, but this was... Actually, maybe this is a target fire. I'm trying to see how many Sunkens... No, it's not. Alright, so the Muta now are... Oh no! He's lost control of them, and instead of killing all the probes, he has just lost all his Muta. So... He's certainly done a lot of damage with those, but he's getting countered. He's going to lose his... No, the Archon's very low on health. The Muta need to... Oh my god, that's an unfortunate rally. This Templar, though, is also going to have an unfortunate death. It almost gets the Storm off, but not quite. And now the Muta here are going to need to split against this Archon. That's not the best split, but the Archon's low on health. So Mutalisk can start to clean this up. Macro is really a struggle right now here for DASD, who, despite being at 200 APM, is really struggling to get anything produced. The Spire's obviously going to go down. Zealots are going to clean up the natural here. Mutas are going to start poking away at these guys, but honestly should lose most of the drones or be forced to run in the main. Could potentially lose the hatchery. The Muta DPS versus Zealots is just not high enough. Now, he's lost his gateways, his power here. The decision to not send a couple Muta back home to make it impossible to rebuild is pretty painful here for DASD, because if there's 3 or 4 Muta here, he can just be picking off probes. He can probably kill pylons at this point, and of course he can continue to harass at the natural as well. So I would have liked to have seen some of that, but he's just opting to kill everything here. Least wasn't really using those Zealots too much. He just kind of had them in the main. But we can see that he's obviously done a tremendous amount of damage to the Zerg economy. Now, Zerg still has 3 hatches and has saved some drones, but not that many. So now we're going to have a counterattack. Now there's only 3... Oh, never mind. There's a lot of cannons here. So this counterattack is going to do absolutely nothing, but the Muta are going to return to the main. So that is good for them, although they are going to arrive seconds late. He can get that first cannon. He should micro it down. Templar are popping out. He needs to go chase those down. Make sure another Archon doesn't form. There's a good find. He is going to chase that Templar down. Oh, no! Oh, no! Alright, so he gets that Templar. And he's got like 8 in the stack. If he had a couple more, he could actually begin to micro down these cannons, which would be great. But unfortunately, he's lacking a few Muta, and of course he's now... Well, he saved actually a lot of his tech in the main. He's redroning a bit. And, of course, Least is unable to mine. He could come in and start mining this base right now if he wanted to. Should probably kill these cannons. If these finish, that's going to be a bit of a travesty here. In the meantime, Least is making a few Zealots. And, uh-oh, his Muta have flown in range. Now, will he recognize these as cannons? He's going for the pylon, but there's secondary power to this. So, yeah, getting the gateways is good, but he could have got the cannons first and then come back to the pylon. Can he get the cannons now? It's going to be tight. He'll get at least 1. He's going to go for the second. All right, he's going to have just enough time. So I guess I take that back. He judged it to perfection, so that works out very well. There is still this Templar here, though. Holy shit. It has 86 energy, boys. 86 energy on this Templar, although Least is not aware of its presence. Now let's see what kind of micro we get here in the natural. Can we start to pick off some probes? Needs to abuse the cliff if he's going to do this. He can definitely get all the probes at the bottom pretty comfortably. Although I guess he is just going to go back into the main and kill these gateways off. In the meantime, we've got a little bit of Zealot harass here, but with 3 Sunkens, not able to do a whole lot. Actually continuing to pop Mutalisks of all things, so just really using up that gas that he has reestablished something of an economy in the main base, reestablishing his natural. And in all honesty, I would say things look pretty abysmal right now here for Least. The Muta have taken a moment to retreat, but he just doesn't have powered gateways. He has lost his Templar archives. He can still make Dragoons, but he's mostly making Zealots right now. He just doesn't have any way to get out on the map here. And Least is setting back up his eco, and Protoss kind of confined to one base. Okay, so he does finally remember that Templar, but it's kind of a silly storm. and it only hits those 2 mutas. So let's see here. We're going to go for the cannons. Will it be enough? I think it will. Looks like it. So the main base is going to fall here for Lyst. And of course, with no Templar Archives, there's absolutely no way in hell he's going to be able to save his main base. So that's going to be it for these gateways. So we got a Protoss mining on the natural right now, and a 3-base Eco Zerg. So this game should be in pretty good shape here for DASD. Should be looking and sitting quite pretty at this point. Not really going to be a whole lot that Lyst can do. I guess this counter here, let's see, a lot of the Muta are away. Well, actually, with all these Muta away, this is going to be annoying. He's left, well, he's got 3 popping, but that's a lot of Zealots here that he has not seen and still hasn't really seen. So actually, these Zealots are going to do a hell of a lot of damage, so we're going to, again, reduce DASD's economy back down to a 1-base eco. As the main base is raised. Now this base is found, so that is certainly good for DASD. Can send a few Muta over there or do as needed. Now the core hasn't died yet, so Dragoons still could be made, and actually the Archives has now been rebuilt. So it's definitely possible to get a few Archons in the mix. And these Zealots here are just going to run around in the main base? Are they going to do anything? Or what? Because actually killing those hatcheries is fairly valuable at this point. That really reduces, obviously, the number of larvae and the production that Zerg has. This thing over here shutting down little cannons and blocking the expo, so at least that is going well for DASD. But we'll see if he's able to save some of this natural, and will at least attack this hatchery. No, he's not going to stay and attack it. Main base slowly dying. He's rebuilt all of his buildings, but he's actually now mined out. So this is all the money that Lyst has. And the Zealots try to come down to this base, but of course, again, 3 Sunkens and all the Muta here, just not going to do much. Popping a bunch of Zerglings right now. And the 3rd base slowly getting whittled down, but there is an Archon out now. And that will obviously clear that wing, and will offer some ability to fight the Mutas. Now turning back, going for this 2nd hatchery here. Looks like he's going to get it fairly comfortably. And these Zealots still running around doing damage, still occupying our Zerg player here. But has not killed the hatchery in the main, so the economy for Zerg still reasonably good. Decent number of drones here in this base. Would like to Maynard out, but with all this money and all these hatches, you can just make one wave of drones, throw down a Hydra Den, and power quite dramatically here. So now we're going to have some Lings coming in here to attack this hatchery, and holy, well, that would have been really funny if you could have actually gotten the hatchery out of this. Lings having a little bit of difficulty here with their pathing. Will they eventually get the Archon? They've gotten it down very low on health. They're not going to kill it because it's not target fired, but it's very snipeable by the Mutalisks now. Although, this is going to be tight. Oh, he's not going. I don't know why he's not going to this 3rd base. So he is going to let this base get up here for Lyst, and that is unfortunate because that gives Lyst a base of mining at least to work with. And with that Archon support, it's a little bit harder to dive on the cannons, and this is, well, this is a lot of cannons, and he's reacted a little too slowly here. I hope he's just going to drone hard in the interim, sending a few Muta to continue to work on clearing out that main. But DSD really struggling here with the micro. He's just going for it. If this works, it's great, but if he loses all these Muta, it's going to be a huge deal. And this Archon is dealing a lot of damage, softening up most of these, enough that the cannons are going to clear them out, so a huge blunder there by DASD. Oh, I accidentally clicked on him. Whoops. I was like, what? He didn't just leave the game, right? But it was at the same time as this, so I was like, huh? So that was a bit of a blunder. So now DASD is basically 1 base economy against 1 base economy. He's adding a Hydra Den, which, well, it's about time. It's only 19 minutes into this game. Not a bad idea to put down a Hydra Den at the 19-minute mark. And let's see what we got going on. We got, is this our first weapons upgrade? No, okay. He has been upgrading weapons. So actually these Archons are pretty strong. Alright, so the main has been completely cleared, but he does still have 2 gateways of production. Alright, continuing to add cannons is probably overkill, but at the same time, he doesn't have like any units. And, well, these drones are having, that's really, really hurting him. Holy shit. I guess he's finally noticed it, maybe? No, I don't think he has. Either that or it's a huge transfer from down here. I don't know. That's a lot of drones, though. That's some good economy. Some Zealots are still being trickled in here to pick off drones, and Hive is being tech towards. Archons have finally been made for Lyst. It took him quite a while to decide to really commit to making those Archons here, but these Zealots are going to get cleaned out, and it looks like DSD has finally figured out that his drones are being absolute retards, and if he just saturates 3 bases, his economy is going to be very, very good. Lyst is still on that rough 1 base eco train here, although given some time, he may be able to eventually clear out his main if, depending on the macro timings here, DSD needs to hit those. He basically just needs to start spamming out Hydras now. He's got reasonable drone saturation at his bases. He's got okay ups. He can even probably start to go into some cracklings. He's getting his groove spines for those Hydra. He's actually still got quite a bit of money. It's kind of unfortunate. Let's see if he started to spam. Oh my god. Okay, he's made more drones. So he's going to have a savage economy, but I'm a little worried that he's maybe overcommitted to drones here in this kind of odd position. Because, I mean, Protoss has several Archons now, like 3 or 4 Archons, and that's going to be really hard to fight with Mutalisks. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this. He's going for Defilers, but with no defense, this again means the natural can be broken. He's re-adding this hatchery, which is fine, because he is going to have a boatload of drones, but he might not have an answer to an attack from Least if Least attacks here in the next, I don't know, wave or two. I mean, we're up to 5 Archons now. Least is just like, I've had enough of this Muta shit. I'm going to get like a bunch of Archons. Like 5 Archons, they're going to be good against Cracklings too. He really needs to start these Hydras. I mean, the Defilers are smart. Is he going to start making Hydra? He's making Defiler. Okay, finally we're going to get some Hydralisks. If he can get 2 groups, 3 groups of Hydra out on the map, honestly 2 groups to defend, then it should be just a nice easy close from here. I mean, he's still at a supply advantage. His this is so many Archons. There's like 6 Archons out on the map right now. This is like a full high fighting force. If he makes a bunch of Lings, it's going to be not nearly as good for him. But if he just makes mass Hydra, it should be pretty easy. He's taking this 4th base. He's basically just got to get his eco running and have enough to survive this first attack. Or not first attack, but this attack here that's coming from Least. And as long as he can do that, it's going to be great. These Muta are not going to be very useful. The space is way too defended to attack. There's nothing left to counter with the Muta. He can try to micro them, but they're not going to be particularly helpful in the fight. He needs to pull these Hydras back, though, and get them all coordinated here, because he's going to need a few groups out to deal with his attack. But there's a decent number of Zealots in here. And, of course, there's an assload of Archons. I mean, this is a fairly large army coming out here from DSD. And, of course, some Defilers, which are nice. Lings being sent in. I don't know why they're being sent in like this. That's not going to be useful. So he is going to have Consume. So Dark Swarm is going to be useful. Reduce that Archon damage quite a bit, but remember, Archons do still splash under Dark Swarm, and these Zealots are now right under there. And again, this base is undefended. I was a little worried that he had made one too many rounds of drones, and I don't see a lot of units out for him right now. I don't know if he's got something making in the main base. I don't see Lurkers. If he can hold his main, it's great. I mean, his economy is absolutely fantastic right now, but he's definitely vulnerable to this attack here from Least, and we can see he's already got to run through the natural, so there's just no way he's going to save the natural, but that's okay. There are other bases alive. He just needs to get out that group of Hydralisks, that 2 groups of Hydralisks maybe that you would need to fight this. I like this use of the Mutalisks, except what I don't like is that a lot of his hatcheries are idle at a very critical time. Like, the Muta Micro is nice, but that is gravy train bonus. What he needs right now is the Hydralisks. You're never going to kill all those Archons with those Muta, and he's just not... Finally, he gets some production going, but he's just not getting the production he needs right now, so his main base is in deep trouble. And it's not a guarantee that it's going to get broken, because Least has separated out his units. I mean, time is being bought here, but of course if he loses his main, then he's not left with a whole lot. He's left with 1 base that's about to mine out. So this is kind of do or die here for DASD, and I like this decision kind of to block this ramp off, but this Archon's going to fall fairly fast, and that's one of the Archons reduced from the army. Look at all these drones here. If these Archons get their shots together, it's going to be a crispy drone barbecue. Oh, now this is a bit unfortunate here, though. Least is not fighting together with his army, and 2 of those Archons have gone down, and we've got more Hydralisks coming in to reinforce. If he connects his army up, which it looks like he will, it does look like DASD is going to be able to hold this attack. Except the Hydras are not exactly doing their thing. He's target firing this Archon, trying to get rid of it, and that is going to leave just 1 Archon left. And so this attack is going to get cleaned up. Now, unfortunately, at least in the meantime, did not do anything behind this attack, so he did not reestablish his main base, despite having 2.5k minerals. So he's still in a kind of a bad spot economically. He's made a few more Archons, which is good. I mean, he's still got a little bit of a scary army, especially given the damage he's done. He's actually got a very scary army. In fact, DSD is not mining right now, except for 1 drone. He has really taken a long time to transfer these units, and, well, with only 1 drone of mining and only Hydra, it actually looks really grim. I figured he still had like 2 bases mining and he would have transferred some drones, but he has not. And so, yeah, the mining is absolutely terrible, and I thought he'd saved a few more drones in his natural than he had. He's going to pop another huge round of drones, but I don't think he's going to have an answer. I mean, this base is wide open to this army. I don't know if he's ever going to be able to establish this. I mean, it's going to depend on how Least plays it here. But look at this income. I mean, it's terrible. And Least is sitting on that 2k bank. He's going to be able to retake his main now. There are no mutas, and there's actually still quite a few minerals left here. He's actually putting a pylon over here. I don't know if that's just a spotter or if he's trying to sneak this Nexus out. Zerg has a bit of an army on the map, but it's still only a control group and a half of Hydras, and he's mostly focused on drones right now. And look at this army here from Least. It is, what, 6 Zealots, 5 Archons, and 2 sets of Storms. That's a tough army to take on. I mean, maybe with some amazing kite micro, DASD can hold this and move into a solid mid-game, but there are even Storms with this army. That is going to be a huge problem, especially as Least reconnects all of his units together. So here we go. Least is moving out. Hydras are being rallied up. Looks like we have right about 2 groups, just under 2 groups maybe. I'd say that's right about 2 groups. So here we go, running in. Oh, he's on move command though, so that's a great start here for DASD, as a few of the Archons are getting picked off immediately. Wow, this is actually a suicide, a huge mistake here. He hops on the Templars, the Archons are going to fall, and wow, a huge mistake by Least. That actually gives DASD the moment he needs here to hold on. And now he's got 2 bases up and running. He has not started remaking this, but he's got 2 bases. Although Protoss is sneaking this base slowly but surely, and that's been a problem. The fact that DASD allowed this top left base to happen is an issue, and all of a sudden DASD goes AFK on his Hydralisks, and everything here is getting picked off. He's sending a few more into the center, but it's, well, now it's going to be enough as they reconnect. So now Least needs to retreat, but DASD absolutely 100% needs to shut down this base. It's good that he's re-expanding here, but realistically he needs to prevent this base going up from Protoss, but that is going to be impossible to do with these Hydra numbers. He's going in for that first cannon, but then he's immediately forced to pull back, and there's just not enough Hydra stream out right now. The economy is reestablished though. I mean, he is mining these 2 bases decently. I think he's got a few drones he'll be able to transfer and be close to 3 base mining, which isn't actually that terrible for fighting against a Protoss, so it's kind of a weird situation, but it's looking pretty bad for DASD. I mean, if he could hold on somehow, if Least suddenly got super passive, maybe. I still don't understand why Least has not retaken his main base. It's got more than enough minerals to be worth a Nexus-based investment. You know, it's not like there's 100 mineral patches there, or 100 minerals left, and that's all you need to worry about. And Least has a fairly scary army here out on the map. In fact, it looks terrifying right now when I look at what is out as far as units go. He's popping quite a few more Hydra. Let's see if he's got these hatcheries all rallied together. A couple Zealots are going to come down here. They're not going to matter, though. This gas is depleted. There's no real drones here. There's a few Sunkens to defend, so I don't know what these guys are doing, but they're not going to accomplish much. Just going to fall here. And a Zealot being sent to check this base. Kind of a bit late to be checking that base. I mean, imagine if he would have gone up there and Zerg would have already been mining from it, and you'd just be like, oh, shit. So Least doesn't really have an idea of what DASD has. We, of course, as the observers, as the viewers, can see that he has not a whole hell of a lot. It's like a group of Hydralisks. Is there a second group down here? He's got, yeah, a group and a half. I don't know. It's very little. Another Archon being made. Very paranoid about those mutas. Archon's not that great against Hydra, so maybe not the best choice in this particular situation. When you could just have more Storms, more High Templar in your army against this pure Hydralisks. Adrenal only just now starting and getting a few more upgrades. We're at 2-1 though, so that's going to bring us to, what, 3-2? Or was he getting missile out of that? No, he's getting his claws. We don't have any claw-based unit. Actually, do drones get an attack upgrade? He either has none or drones don't get an upgrade. I honestly don't remember. I never pay attention to my drones when I upgrade them. So I don't have an answer. And now this large army here from Least streaming across the map, and that is, what, a control group plus of Zealots. We got 3 more. Yeah, we got a full 2 control group army, 4 or 5 Storms in this. This is very scary right now. And what does DASD have to defend? It looks like 2 groups of Hydras. I hope to God there's a Plague. Actually, it's a pretty decent Plague, but he needs more than that. Here we go. It's going to be an important engagement here. No micro so far, though, from DASD. In fact, none at all. He seems to be caught with his pants down. I hope he was macroing. Oh my god, I don't know what he was doing, but his attention was in the wrong place at the wrong time. No more units, and GG is called. And Least takes that in a roundabout 30-minute game. That goes all over the place. So that is our fan game for the day. And now I guess it's about